Hey guys, this is Ryan, and I'm here today with Derek,
Hello.
also known as the Beta Cat, and we're here with another Don't Worry Wednesdays, and today we're actually just gonna do a pretty much a podcast version, not have any video because it actually saves us some time with our busy schedules just to do audio and not really do much of video recording. And also, on that note, if you would like to submit art for us to use for the video that we can put here on the screen, that would be super awesome, and we will use them. So fan art or whatever you guys create, that'd be really cool. Also, this video is also, or the audio is also going to be put up on our podcasting site if it's easier for you to play. Which is staticat.podbean.com, if I remember correctly. It will be in the description below. So, carrying on. Today we actually have we've chosen 4 different comments that we are going to do. So I'll just start with one of mine. It was shared privately with us, and the person asked me not to reveal the name. So here we go. It says, when I was really young, I had developed a snarky attitude and tendency to guilt trip people as a way to get through to my mother. It says, family issues, I'm not over yet, so I'm keeping it to myself. Plus, it's kind of a long story. At the moment, I'm not the nicest to my friends. I even made one of them cry recently. She forgave me and continued to being one of my friends. I always feel guilty after saying something rude to them, but I always have so many nasty things to say, and it always just slips out. I want to apologize, but pride and all of that. I've noticed that whenever I have home issues, my tendency to bully them is increased. Yeah, talk to someone, but I don't have anyone to talk to. A psychiatrist just made me feel worse. My friends are sunshine rainbow people and would probably just stand there stunned. I'm too embarrassed to tell my siblings. My dad got angry when I even mentioned something along the lines to him, and my mother, well, first paragraph. But that doesn't matter right now. In short, how do you get rid of pride? How do you stop being a bully? I've tried, but they always think I'm a different person or that I'm feeling sad. It's like if I'm not a rude jerk, then I'm not their friend they know. And I don't know what to do. So, sorry, that was a bit long, but if you could take this, Derek, that'd be awesome.
Okay, my thoughts on this. You have an issue with pride. We're not sure where this is coming from, other than the hint that you said, family issues, that you haven't quite gotten over yet. Totally fine. Pride is a good thing to have, I believe. But the way it's used is left for thought and open for opinion from many others, for yourself and those who view it. But if you're using it in a sense because you want to be recognized, or you're trying to get some form of attention, or you're just doing it because you feel you need to show the negative side of others, that's where pride might come into play. Because you have this feeling that you need to let people know that they're either wrong or they're not as good as they try to make themselves seem, for whatever reason that may be that we're not sure of, other than it's due to pride. Now, you say that you want to stop being a bully and you want to get rid of this pride. Well, I wouldn't necessarily think you're a bully, more or less because you're not purposely trying to hurt anyone. Sort of. I mean, you are doing it, but I don't think you're absolutely doing it because you want to hurt someone. You're just letting out these pent-up emotions, I believe, is leading to the cause of this rude attitude of yours. And the first thing to kind of attacking this pride and personality that you may have is to first recognize that you're doing it. We already are at the point where you recognize you have it, but you need to recognize when you're about to do it. You know, someone may say something, you might disagree with it 100%, and you're about to say something extremely rude. Instead, catch yourself and then think about it. Now, what I mean by that is think about the effects of those words that you're going to cause to that person you're going to say them to. Is it worth those 5 seconds to let out your possibly really negative opinion for the sake of proving someone wrong, maybe making you feel better, or just to do it? You know, the old saying is, you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. You know, I think that holds true in many situations. It's okay to call someone out when they're doing something wrong, but it's not okay to call someone out strictly for the purpose of putting them in a bad spot because you feel that you need to be right. Because what? Because of pride. It's okay to hold on to it, as I explained earlier, but don't let that be an excuse for your attitude. You're not a bully. I don't think you are anyway. I think what you need to do is take a little breather and kind of understand why you're doing this. We already know that it has something to do with a family, possibly situation that we don't know 100%, because you didn't use the word guilt trip, even though that's only directed to your mother, but that can play a huge factor in the entire scenario that's going on here. And, you know, you should be very grateful that you have these friends that are staying by, because you know that they're true friends. They're looking past this rude attitude of yours and they're just looking at the nice things of you. You know, we don't know how you are exactly with them, but for the sake that these people are still there with you, and the worst possibility they'll do is just stand there stunned, I think that speaks a lot about their ability to believe in the better side of you. So think about that real hard and, you know, don't just be trying to change yourself for the better for your friends and for those around you, but, you know, do it for yourself in the long-term future of where you want to be. Because, you know, truth be told, you can't be like this forever. You may walk a path where you're lonely and you're not sure why it is, but it's because you're kind of pushing people away. You may not do it on purpose, but you're doing it. And the first step to recognizing it is catching yourself in the act and try your very best not to do it. I know that's easier said than done, as with a lot of things we say on this show, but I believe in you. I assume Ryan also believes in you. So, you know, take it real slow. Catch yourself doing it. And if you do, if it's too late to stop yourself, at least say sorry. Sorry goes a long way. You may not think it, but it totally does. And that's all I got.
Very nice. Thank you, Derek. I guess what I'll add to that is, I would say, forgiveness. Try to forgive everybody that has kind of hurt you, whether it's your family or your friends or whatever. And a lot of times, holding grudges is what causes us to act in a way that is not good. Even if you could have a grudge against somebody that's not even your friend and then lash out on your friend. If you are able to forgive, and what I mean by forgive is, like, if someone owes you something, like, let's say, like, they owe you a debt of like $1,000. Forgiveness is just saying, okay, that person doesn't owe me any debt anymore, and you tell them that, and it's fine, and you don't want it anymore, and everything's good from there on. You no longer need anything from that friend. The same thing goes with, or person or whatever. Same thing goes with, if someone has wronged you, if someone has done something mean to you, forgiving them just says, I'm just going to let it go. And it doesn't mean you forget it. You can still remember it. But don't let it haunt you, because a lot of times forgiveness or unforgiveness, or a grudge, I should say, it just makes things worse for ourselves and also makes things worse for our relationships. There's no point in having a relationship with anybody if you don't have forgiveness. Forgiveness has to be the base of any good, lasting friendship, because without it, that friendship is impossible to last because we all make mistakes. We all mess up. We all do stupid stuff. We're all sinners, like that's just how it goes. And sometimes that wrong that they did is not even against you. It's like against, maybe it just meant nothing. Maybe it was just like they said a sentence wrong or whatever it was. But keep strong to forgiveness. Try to have a very forgiving heart. And that basically just means daily, whenever you see something that you're holding on to, learn to let it go. It's not always easy. Some things are harder to forgive than others. But eventually, if you can forgive everything, you feel a lot better as a person. You don't have those things weighing you down anymore. And your attitude and the way you treat people will become a lot better and more pure and nicer, I guess. You will feel a lot better if you do that. So if you're having any grudges or whatever, just remember to be forgiving and just kind of try to let things go. So that's my best advice on that. As for pride, it kind of goes hand in hand with that, though not exactly. Pride is, I guess saying, pride is thinking better of yourself than you ought to. Like when you know that you're wrong, but you still don't want to let it go because, pride. It's just an interesting thing that I think we all deal with throughout our lives, continuously, because we're all kind of selfish, But as Derek said, whenever you notice it, try to lean the other way. Try to go against that instinct, because that alone will take you very far. And you'll get better and better at dealing with pride. The opposite of pride would probably be, don't quote me on this, but I could probably be being humble, which means putting others before yourself and being able to admit your own faults. Not that you should beat yourself up, but rather that you should hold the bar high on yourself and say, I'm awesome and capable of doing amazing things, and I fail a lot, but I'm getting better. So I guess that's all I have to say about that. Hopefully that helps you. Thank you again, Derek. That was really great on your part. Let's go to the next one. Oh, you're welcome. I love you. All right, let's go to the next one. We'll take a comment from yours.
All right. So this one was posted in the public section of the comments. So this is from Minnie Uni, or as we know her as Minnie. And she wrote, okay, so I have this problem every year during October. Right now, the whole clown thing is going on in the US and Australia is freaking me out. I'm terrified of clowns. Honest, the homie, the clown, he's tolerable. He's keeping me up at night, 4 a.m. as I write this, and if I talk about it, it freaks me out even more. If I don't talk about it, my imagination goes crazy and I'm on the verge of a panic attack. Clowns aren't the only thing. Porcelain dolls or just realistic human-looking things terrify me, and my beloved Muma, which is what she calls her mother, decided to put up Christmas decorations up, including a porcelain angel on the tree, and a porcelain Santa by the front door, and a porcelain Mrs. Claus. So I get a bit antsy when I go to the kitchen, or freak out just thinking about them coming to life. I was wondering if I can get some advice on this, how not to freak out as much, and hopefully come to terms with Mr. and Mrs. Claus after being afraid of them my whole life. That isn't around to talk me through my fears, and Muma doesn't understand my intense fear of these kind of things. So for those out there who probably don't understand what's going on, it's a phobia, and her phobia is clowns. And for those who don't know what phobia is, it's an extreme fear of something. In this case, clowns. So Ryan, what do you got?
All right. This is, by the way, Minnie. I just wanted to say, goo, and sorry. So it's a inside joke. So what I had to say about this is, the fear is okay. So, it's kind of hard for me because I haven't had a whole lot of fears in my life, but I've had a few, but nothing that was so intense that it caused me to be super stressed. I guess there are points in my life where I was like, I watched something and it kept me up at night, but eventually after a couple of days it settled down and I wasn't scared anymore. So this fear is obviously caused by something in culture, and it is movies and that sort of thing revolving around clowns and that nature. If you had never seen those movies, you would have never been afraid of clowns or shows or whatever they were. Sometimes even having influence of people who are afraid of those things without ever even seeing them can cause you to be afraid of them. Like, for example, most people don't encounter snakes, but they're deathly afraid of them because there's a lot of people in the world who say that snakes are scary and they're afraid of snakes and they can bite you and kill you and all this kind of stuff. And so people freak out about snakes the first time they ever see one because there's so much talk about them. But we all know that there's no real reason to be afraid of these clowns, especially the porcelain figures at the least. I understand that there's people dressing up like clowns and kidnapping some kids or whatever, and that's really tragic. But aside from that, most of this is obviously just silly. I shouldn't say silly because I don't intend to make light of your issue, but it's not a real thing that needs to be feared. Like someone standing in front of you with a gun. I mean, that is actually a situation that's scary and life-threatening as opposed to like a porcelain doll. So how to get over this? I remember when I was a kid, I was actually afraid of spiders. And at one point, I somehow managed to convince myself that I was cool too cool to be afraid of anything. I was like, I'm a real man. I can stand up to anything, even though I knew that wasn't true. But somehow I actually managed to get it into my head that was true. And now I'm no longer afraid of anything because I said, I'm not afraid of anything enough times that I actually managed to believe it. As for the porcelain angel and the Santa Claus and stuff like that, I think if you look at them in a different light, they won't be so scary. So here's what I'll say. The porcelain angel and the porcelain Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, I think. Yes, Mrs. Claus as well. Is it Miss Claus or Mrs.? I don't know. Anyways, I think it's Mrs. I think they're married. Anyways, yeah, they're married because they both have claws at the end. They're not brother and sister. Anyways, so here's some things you can do. Do some research about how they were made and all that kind of stuff. And the more you research something and actually find out the true facts, the less scared you are of it. Same thing with spiders for me. I actually spent some time researching spiders, and I found out that, in fact, pretty much none of them can kill you that exist around my area. And there's like the black widow, and that's basically the only thing. And it doesn't really kill you. And in fact, the amount of people that have died this last like 20 years has been like one person. So I decided I wouldn't be afraid of them. And the more research I did, the more I understood about them. And I was like, oh, okay. So if you can do research on Saint Nicholas, who is the person that Santa Claus is based after, he was a dude that was super awesome and gave gifts to the poor and things like that. And do research on angels, I guess, if you want. That'll help you to not be so scared of these things. As for clowns, I mean, you can look up clowns too and research on them. But I guess that's my best advice. And I hope that helps. Derek, what do you got?
Well, I totally agree with the whole researching something, because the best way to really stop fearing anything is to learn as much as you can about it and to also face it. I'm not saying if you see a clown outside your window, you go out there and say hi. What I am saying is if you see a clown out your window, you take out a gun, you shoot him. I'm also not serious about that decision, but for myself, I was extremely afraid of heights. Now, a heights is not a person. It is also not a thing that can be thrown at me. But it was just this fear of falling from a high up place, like a curb or something. And it just scared me for whatever reason. Now, how did I get over this? Well, I was put into a position where I had to get over it or else I'd be fired because my job required me to get on a portable elevator with the only thing securing me to it was a buckle to the elevator that would lift me 3 stories in the air. Now, I'm not saying that to go ride a clown elevator, that'd probably be really bad. But in order to get over something extremely fearful, you need to convince yourself that it's not extremely as fearful as you may think. Now, the situations here could be different because mine is more of a mentality thing. If I fall off something, then that's it. Yours is both mentality and a possibility because that thing's like an animate object, except for dolls and porcelain things. As Ryan said, it could date back to something that may have happened. Could be maybe cultural related, like mannequins and all that stuff. I don't really have too much knowledge about that, but when you research something to the extremes, when you start actually bringing in like logic to these possible inanimate objects, you kind of begin to feel that, you know, maybe this porcelain doll may not do anything to me. And another thing you can do, as we kind of reference to the other problem that we were talking about, is kind of go for it. Just like go over to we'll go ahead with Mr. Claus, because if you don't give him a high five, he may not give you presents this year. But if you see the Mr. Claus, you know, by the front door, as you said, you know, just give him a high five. And if he gives you a high five back, that's pretty awesome, but also scary because they're not supposed to do that. But in all seriousness, I've never had a phobia other than falling. But like I said, that wasn't a person or an object. In your case, for the clowns and just mannequin realistic doll things, I would tell you, Minnie, that they will not do anything to harm you, because I truly believe that you are the stronger of these dolls. Your porcelain is stronger than their possibly aluminum-made marketing strategy by the porcelain gods. I'm trying to like comfort you with a joke, but it's not working. But I hope you're laughing at this moment, and if you're not, I'm sorry. I just want you to know Ryan put me up to this.
I did not. Good.
But I just want to tell you that'll be okay. You say you get it around every time this year because, of course, holidays, and with the whole clown thing, Halloween. That's not. Yes, but there's also porcelain dolls in the holidays.
Yes.
But because you're kind of waiting for it, like you know it's coming, that's another thing. Don't fear for what's coming. Like, stand up against it. Like, you know what? I know Santa's going to be by the front door next year. I don't care. I'm going to step on his face. Or I don't care if the angel's on top of the tree, because it's on top of the tree and I'm on the bottom and I'm tiny. It's not going to get me unless it jumps off. But then I'll punch it in the face. You know what I mean? Like, there's a solution to everything. Mrs. Claus, she's like a little old lady. She can't do anything. But yeah, I probably gave like the worst advice ever on the show so far. You know, just do what Ryan said.
I have actually, you kind of gave me a thought. I've got something for you, Minnie. It's going to take a lot of strength, a leap of faith. But if you do it, I can almost guarantee that you'll be over your fear. And it is this. I want to tell you that angels are nice. Demons are bad, but angels are nice. So why don't you take that angel off of that tree and put it in your bed and sleep with it. Remember that angels are nice. And if anything comes to you, it's going to be nice. So if you can manage to take the angel, this inanimate object, based on a creature that is designed to be very nice and helpful, then if you put it in your bed with you and sleep with it overnight, you wake up, I could almost bet you'd be over your fear. That's a huge leap of faith, takes a huge amount of strength to actually go to sleep like that. But if you could do that, I would be so impressed. And also, I would bet that you would no longer be afraid of porcelain dolls or anything like that.
I agree. And then after you do that, get a life-size one and then do it again.
Yes. Why not? Sweet. All right.
I don't know why you laughed. I was being serious.
You could do that. I'm just thinking about a whole life-size like mannequin. Someone sleeping with like like one of those clothing models.
Oh, dude. Okay. Anyway.
Dude. Yeah, man. That would be awesome.
There is your answer. Oh my god. Don't worry. I'm gonna be cutting this stupid stuff out.
None of it's stupid. It's hilarious, which just makes it good. I mean, people want to enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to cut out like this part where we're talking right now.
No, don't cut this part out either. People need to hear this. All right, you can put that in the bloopers. Okay. So,
Minnie, I will be your hero, baby. I will stand behind the clown and take him home, I guess.
Take him home. And
okay, here's the deal.
A nice time.
Okay, Minnie, if you can sleep with the angel for one night, I will sleep with the clown for one night.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, moving on.
Well done, Derek. Way to step up the game. Okay, so are we ready to go to the next one, or
yeah?
Do you got anything more to say? Okay. So this next one is, I guess, from my side again, and they don't want their identity revealed. So it says this. I'm a 15-year-old girl who has been held back twice. She's speaking of school. Once because of switching schools in the middle of the year, and another because of bad grades. The school I went to before was bad, so me and my mom moved, and I got accepted into this really fancy school for smart kids. I started off this school year thinking this would be fun, but I'm not so sure anymore. I have no friends, and I feel like I'm just always in the shadows. No one ever talks to me or notices me. Even on my birthday, I sat alone and sung a happy birthday to myself in the corner of the cafeteria. The teachers didn't do anything and just continued as if the day was normal. I was recently given the option to move back with my dad and attend the school I was going to before, or just stay in this school. On top of that, I'm scared about my future. The only thing I've really been passionate about is anime, manga, music, YouTube, drawing, and school idols. I have a lisp, so I can't voice act. I'm bad at drawing, so I can't draw manga or do art at all. School idols are only for a while you attend grade school. Sure. I can't sing very well, and I've always been told my voice is horrible, so I can't do anything with music. And I'm not very funny or bright, so I wouldn't really fit in YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future, and I don't really see myself doing anything special. But all I know is that in my life, I just want to make people smile. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to do that. What do I do? So go ahead and take it away, Dirk.
Okay. This one kind of hits home for me because I was sort of in the same situation when I was younger. Except mine went further into my life because me myself, I didn't really have anyone to talk about these feelings with. And I can relate to feeling that I didn't really have anything I was, destined to do in the future, or if I felt like I didn't have any of these skills that I wanted to share, or if I wasn't good enough. But what really helped me push out of it was just hearing someone tell me that I can do it. I know this is like, it may sound so far-fetched, but I want you to hear me out, and I want you to hear Ryan out. But it just takes a little push from anyone. Someone you trust, someone you may not even know personally, but you just see them time to time. Just for them to tell you that, hey, you can do it. You don't even have to be friends. And I kind of got into that spot when I was finally like about 20 years old, 21. I was watching a YouTube video. This was around the time when I haven't started YouTube myself yet. I was just going through the motions of life, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And as I said, I was in the same spot as yourself. I didn't see myself fitting into anywhere. I didn't feel like I had no skills to share. Like, none of that. And I was watching a video about a person giving advice. And he didn't know who I was. He was just sharing his advice with the world. But he said that you can do it. He may not be talking directly to me, but I took that in as another person talking to me. Now, what that did was it pushed me to do something. It made me believe that I can do what I wanted to do in life. Now, you say that you can't sing very well and that someone told you that your voice is horrible. Well, I want you to believe that what they say doesn't matter, because they don't know what your future holds for you. I mean, I may not either. Ryan may not know what your future holds, but I do believe it holds something special. And if you don't go for it, you never will know. I think that you can be a fantastic singer if you practice every day, if you try your hardest. I believe that this person who says your voice is horrible, maybe 2-3 years from now, they'll be like, your voice is amazing. You say that you're not funny or bright, you wouldn't fit for YouTube. I probably think you're the greatest entertainer who's going to become 2017. All these things that I say or that anyone says, they're not set in stone. That's why you need to go out and paint that picture yourself and not let anyone dictate what you can and cannot do. And all it takes is for you to believe in yourself. I understand that it may have to do with you possibly going back into your school years where you were held back twice. That can probably really hit hard, to your mentality and emotionally, because you feel that it was possibly your fault, which I don't want you to think that way. I don't want you to think that this is your fault while you were held back. But I also don't want you going around thinking that if someone tells you something, that's 100% absolute, because it's not. Because you control your life. You don't probably believe me right now, but I want you to really, really look deep inside yourself, and all those passions that you care about, I want you to bring them out little by little. Don't force them out, just little by little. Tomorrow, sing your hardest. Next day, maybe tell a couple jokes to your friend. Next day, study real hard. Little by little, and I can guarantee that you'll just do these things naturally. They won't feel so forced anymore. You may have to do it in the beginning because you're not used to it. You're not in that comfortable state yet because you're so used to feeling the negative things about yourself, when there's actually so many positive things about you that you still haven't yet realized. Now, I don't know you. I haven't met you. But as with everyone who is able to make that first big step for asking for help, who's letting out their emotions, letting out what they're feeling, that takes a lot. And anyone who does that, I grant you the biggest high fives I can possibly give without hurting you, of course, and the biggest hugs I can give you if I could hug you. I'd hug you I buy you ice cream. I tell you that you can do it if I could. If I can just put you on my hand and like hold you like a statue. That sounds really weird, Derek. I don't know why you're saying that and you're talking third person, but I believe in you. And if that's not enough, then at least I believe in the potential that you have for the future of yourself and for this world. And I know you'll do great things. And I want you to smile, because when you smile and smile for another, you're going to do exactly what you want. And don't be scared, because smiling. Yeah. Okay, Ryan.
Thanks, Derek. That was actually honestly very beautiful. A lot of that. I wanted to say what you were saying with the smiling. If you smile at somebody, they'll generally smile back. That's a good way to make people smile. Just smile at them. It's kind of like in our human nature. If someone smiles at them, we're like, oh, yeah, I'll give a smile back. Again, that was actually, you had a lot of really good stuff, Derek. So I have a couple of things I want to say. One thing about the bad singing, my best friend in high school told me that I was a bad singer. And at the time, it might have been true. I didn't actually start trying to sing until I was 19. I'm 27 now. And I didn't decide I wanted to actually do music as a career until I was 19. And that's why, until I was like basically 20. Sorry, no, okay. I didn't start singing until I was 18. And then I decided I wanted to pursue music when I was 19. That's how it went. So don't let anybody say that you are a bad singer when, I mean, if you really want to go into singing, you're still a piece of art being worked on. I mean, just like Derek said, you can't let what anybody say to you condemn you, as in, you can't let what they say to you be forever, because it's not true. I mean, nothing is forever. If someone says, oh, you're a bad singer, that doesn't mean you're a bad singer forever. And it doesn't even have to be true at the time. They might just have bad ears. Who knows? Or you had a bad day at singing. Even I some days can't sing quite well. So now I'm not trying to say you should go into singing. I'm just saying that applies to everything. So whatever it is you find yourself being passionate about, and if it's something you believe you could do if you give it time, and that's what you want to do with your life, then I say go for it. Because just as Derek said, you choose your life. You choose your life based on what you do with it every moment of the day. And you can become talented in pretty much anything you put time into. People say, oh, I don't know how you write music. I could never do that. And I didn't start out knowing how to write music. It's something I developed over putting many, many, many hours into. But it was something I chose that I wanted to be good at. So I became good at it. So just keep that in mind. Secondly, as for not knowing what you want to do with your life, or you don't feel like you have any special talent or anything like that. I remember my mom saying that, and she said that for a very long time until very recently. So basically most of her life has been spent thinking that she doesn't have any special talent or any special thing to bring to the world. And then someday she stumbled upon the truth that was not quite, that she was looking at it in the wrong way. And she told me basically what she realized is that her purpose in life is not the same throughout her whole life. It's constantly changing. So some days it's one thing and some days it's another, but it's always bringing about something good in the world. When she had me and my brother as children, her purpose was keeping us alive and teaching us valuable lessons and all of this kind of stuff. And now, as she's, coming to some money, her purpose has changed to be able to support people that are her friends or even people that are not, strangers. Or now that she's starting to grow in wisdom, she's able to help people with their lives by helping them understand things. Everybody is special because we can all bring something to the table for each other. And while that thing that you bring to the table might not seem like, oh, I'm not the only one bringing this, so I'm not special. That's not true. What makes you special is that you bring something. Not that your gift is special, but that you are special because you bring something. Because not everybody chooses to do so. And that's all it is a choice. And you can make that choice. Because you've already said you want to make people smile. So obviously you're going to make that choice. So don't think that you don't think that you're not special or not bringing anything to the table that's unique or anything like that, because that's just a silly way of thinking about it. Because in truth, you are very special and you are incredibly unique just by saying that you want to make people smile. Well, I think a lot of people want to make people smile, but to actually say that and do it, most people are selfish, they're just thinking about themselves. But you're obviously thinking about other people. So just keep doing that. And I think life will fall into place for you. And yeah, that's all I got.
That was great. I agree with all of that. And yeah, so we're moving on to the final question of the show. Mm-hmm. This one wants to remain anonymous, as this was sent privately to myself, and goes off with, I'm a 16-year-old boy suffering from panic attacks which prevented me from going to school no matter what I've tried. The situation has occurred for almost 4 years now. I've skipped almost every day of school due to this panic attack. It's become unbearable to the point of me being traumatized by the thought of going to school. I know school is important and I know I need to go there for my future, but it's been so hard for me to go there that I'm really scared of my panic attacks. I've also been having depression due to the fact that I'm not being able to go to attend school. I'm scared that I won't get a job because I won't get a high school diploma if this situation continues, and then there's the bare minimum of the requirements for most jobs. I've been thinking about all of this and I always thought that maybe it's better for me to commit suicide. This also ruined my sleep pattern to the point that I sleep late at 3 a.m. and wake up at 1 p.m. Honestly, the only reason I'm not committing suicide is the thought of that. The situation could get better, so I just need to stay strong. I have never actually harmed myself, it's just that I think about suicide a lot. My parents know my condition, they sent me to a psychiatrist, and I'm thankful for that. But I think that's not enough considering my condition didn't get any better. I've rejected from taking medicine since my parents told me that they have very bad side effects, and from what I read, I think they're right. They're very supportive and I love them, but I feel guilty that I can't go to school for them. I've been trying alternatives for school, but the same thing happens. I get panic attacks. I'm really worried about my future since I feel like I won't get a job to sustain my family. The only thing I could think of I can do to make a living from... The only thing I can think of that I can make a living from is art, which I can do, but that is really hard to get a stable income from. And it ends off there. What do you have to say, Ryan?
All right. I guess I got a few things to say here. One thing about the art is kind of like what I was saying before just a second ago. If it's something that you want to pursue, just like I pursued music, go for it. Obviously, you can do that and school at the same time, so don't give up art. And there's still always a possibility you can make an income from it. Honestly, if people might say that it's really hard to get a stable income from, that is actually true. However, being somebody who needs art myself at a constant basis and knowing how many artists get requests from people to do work for them, usually they're like, I want free art, but art is always been a part of cultures, and it is right now because of the digital information, because of the internet, and everybody needing pictures to post on their stuff, or to make video games, or to make manga, or whatever it is. People are always looking for artists, and some people are willing to pay. So don't give up on that. But as for school, I think it would be very, very good for you to school, not for you to go to school, not just for the education and the diploma, but also for your own self-esteem and getting over this current fear and issue. So I can't remember the exact situations where this happened to me, but I remember many times where I would fall short on something. And because I fell short, I no longer wanted to even confront the person that I fell short on to deal with. Like, I was supposed to do something for them and I didn't end up doing it, or I didn't finish it in time. And instead of going and talking to that person, I would just hide. I would basically try to cut that person off from my life and never talk to him again. And that's kind of what you're doing with this school thing. Eventually, I came to realize that I was doing this and it wasn't healthy and it wasn't good. And the reason I was doing it is because I felt like if I had shown myself in front of that person, that they would criticize me and be cruel to me and all of these things. I was afraid of their reaction. And then I realized, because instead of confronting them and end up, or even turning in the work late, or rather, I realized that even turning the work in late or not turning anything but confronting them would have been a better option, because then they at least still get to be my friend, or at least something gets done, rather than me hiding and hurting myself because I'm afraid of what others might think of me. You'll find out eventually in life that a lot of people are looking at themselves and not really looking at you. And while you can be an inspiration to people who look, most of the time no one's really looking at you. And that's not to say that it's because you don't matter. It's just because anybody who does look at you in a cynical way is not worthy of being your friend, and anybody who's looking at you because they want to help you is worthy of being your friend. And it's just like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about who's looking at you or how you might appear to other people. I would say don't be afraid of that. Instead, go out of your way to make yourself, visible. Because one, it will draw people towards you, and you'll make a lot of friends that way. And by basically embarrassing yourself in front of people or putting yourself out there, you can make a lot of friends that way. But also it gives you a good sense of humility and makes you realize that other people are important, and you're not the only one in the world, so you can't just focus on yourself the whole time, So, I don't know. I'm just kind of speaking from my personal experience of what I was going through when I had a similar problem. Basically, I mean, it's kind of bland, but I'm just going to say you're going to have to force yourself to go to school. You're going to have to force yourself. Even if it's not this year, maybe if you would feel more comfortable at the beginning of next year, start showing up, and that way you look like any normal student that just comes in at the beginning of the year. But if you're feeling that you really need to come in this year, then just do it. And people will be like, this person joined at a weird time, but that will spark people's curiosity, and you might make some friends immediately because you're just showing up. So don't look at it as some type of bad thing. Instead, look at it as an opportunity to, 1, improve yourself, 2, make friends, and 3, obviously, all the other stuff that comes with school and getting jobs and gaining knowledge and that sort of thing. So kind of give yourself a different perspective on it and make it something, instead of looking at it as something that's harming you and making you feel like you've failed yourself. Look at it as, hey, you know what? That's in the past. yeah, we all mess up. We all make mistakes. We all feel ashamed when we do something wrong. But you know what? I'm just going to get through this. I'm just going to go for it. Go to school, show up, and consider an opportunity. Be like, yeah, I want to make some friends, This is going to be good. So that's my best advice. I'm looking forward to see what Derek has to say.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I myself never had a panic attack, so I think anyway. So I can't offer too much experience, but I can offer the experience of helping others that also have had panic attacks. Now, when I first came across this, I couldn't really help them because I never had any experience of it, never had it myself. So once relationships happened, when I became friends with such people, I saw how they handled it. And I took that experience and shared it with others who I've befriended in the future and helped them get through when they didn't know what to do. So panic attacks are not something that you can stop. And that's not a bad thing. So hear me out real quick before we continue. A panic attack is going to happen whether you want it to or not. But how you handle it really depends on you. There's a couple of different ways that my friends have gotten through them. And once you do it, no one will really know you're having a panic attack. You may still be going through it, but you may not even be showing it because you have it under control. And what I mean by you have it under control is that you're keeping it calm rather than exposing it 1,000 times of what it's worth. So when you feel a panic attack coming, what my friends would normally do is they would accept it. Now, most of the time you would say, no, I don't want it to happen. I don't want to accept it. Well, that's the thing. When you deny something, it hurts even more. So if you just let it happen, but know that it's coming, it's easier to handle because you know it's there. You know you can't escape it, but with that mentality, you can control the significance of it. Now you can make it even more comfortable with yourself while it's going on. Say, as Ryan mentioned, when you're in school. So you feel the panic attack coming, you're doing homework. Well, instead of putting your mind to the scenario, which is, oh no, here it comes again, how about stick your mind to, oh, I feel it coming, but I really got to take care of this test. It can still go on. The panic attack can still happen. My friends explain that sometimes it just won't go away. Sometimes they get very lucky and they're able to go mind over matter and it just dissipates. It goes away and they can focus on whatever they're doing. But in the sense, or in the case that it doesn't happen, as I said, you accept it, you control it, and you focus on the task at hand, which is, in this case, studying or being in school. And the next thing that they normally do is when this panic attack arises, if you're in an important setting, be it a conversation with a crush, you're at the doctor's appointment, something that needs your immediate attention and your 100% focus, this is where they were still able to do these things by just following the steps that I've explained. Because when you're able to accept the negative sides of just anything in life, it's actually easier to overcome because you're not denying the fact that a bad thing will happen because you want 100% positive things to go on in your life. Because, the sad truth of it all is that you can't make that happen. Something bad will always happen, but it's not a bad thing necessarily. We use it to grow stronger. We use it to gain experience. We use it to gain knowledge, and we use it to our future selves to make us a better person. And in your case, for your panic attacks, how it's hindering your school, it's hindering you for a possibility of a job to support your family. Use that as the driving point to stop your panic attacks and or limit their severity when they're coming. If you feel it, accept it and say, hey, I'm doing this for my family. You're in a job interview, you're feeling it. Hey, it's there. I'm going to calm it down. It's still going to go on, but I got to focus on the task at hand. Now, like I said, Your panic attacks may come and go, and if you're very lucky, they'll go away forever. But the main point here is for you to take deep breaths when they're coming and do not push them away forcefully. Accept them for what they are, as a part of you, which is not a bad thing. Like I said, I've had friends who have them, who still have them, but I never even know when they're having them. When we're in a private setting, or when we're out partying, or we're in a scary situation, as in my friend lost their phone, and I know little things like that can trigger those, but I know that they have it under control because I don't see it anymore. I don't see them going through these panic attacks because they have it under control. They're feeling it on the inside, but they have it to the point where it no longer bothers them, and it just seems like second nature. It's still there, but they're able to kind of push it away and get on through their daily tasks. And all it takes is a little bit of believing, and I believe in you. So you can do it, our friend, and just do your best, and it'll be all right. And I know you'll take care of your family. That's all I got.
Yeah. Your family sounds awesome, by the way. And I also want to say, Derek, that was really informative. And it kind of made me think, because I've never really experienced these before either. Not at a severe level, but it kind of sounds to me similar to what any person would experience with an emotion that's extremely strong. Like, maybe sometimes you're really angry, but really angry. Sorry. Like when you're really angry, but you decide to not let it get to you. And the anger's still there, but you choose to let that emotion, you choose to fight that emotion and how you react to it. You choose not to react to the emotion instead of acting to the emotion. So that was really interesting, and that makes a lot of sense.
I did it.
It's like a really, really powerful emotion. Yeah. Nice.
Man, I don't know what's up with my voice. I think you guys all heard it. It was going weird at the end.
Yeah, I've been needing to clear my throat a lot today too. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. But
the earth is changing everybody's throats today.
Pretty
Deal
much. It's National Throat Day.
National. Just now, at least national between me and him. Me and Derek and I should say.
It's a worldwide epidemic between us two.
Between us two, it's a worldwide epidemic, even though we're not really that far apart.
And the only way to stop it is to find the Chaos Emeralds.
The Chaos Emeralds really could solve this issue.
Mm-hmm.
If only. That blasted Sonic and Dr. Robotnik. Come on, share the Chaos Emeralds.
And the Bow and Apple teas.
Oh my. So I guess this concludes our video, and I thank you all for joining us for this very long adventure. I hope this change in just doing the pictures is all right with you guys. It does make it a lot easier on Derek for sure, because Derek's been the one doing all of the video editing and that sort of thing. So yeah. Remember, if you would like to, we would really like it if you did make us some art for this so we can post it as our video. Yeah, as our video for this video and the future videos to come. So, yeah, just send it to our Twitters. You can send it to Derek's or mine. The links are in the description below. And we'll look through them and pick and choose from them. So we would be very thankful if you did that.
Yes, we would.
I guess we're supposed to end on a joke, even though we had quite a few jokes throughout this. Derek, did you bring anything? Got any material?
What are you talking about?
I know, I'm the host and I don't have one. It's my turn, but
okay, I got you this time.
Yeah, I have to actually think about these things.
All right, viewers, what's the difference between a 1 story and a 2 story? A 1 story is a normal story.
Ooh, yeah, Derek, great. So before we began this, me and Derek were talking, and he heard some noises coming from the floor above me. Kids were crying and that sort of thing. And so he said, "Oh, do you live in a? What'd you say? Do you live in a 2-story?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, "No, I have a basement and And then the words escaped me for what to say. And so I was like, and the floor above me, so no, I don't live in a 2-story, I live in a normal story." And he just thought that was great because I'm retarded and he is not. No. It was pretty funny, so.
Pretty much. Go on Twitter and hashtag normal story or at Static P.
Perfect. Yep. You get to, exploit all of my difficulties with the English language. I would love that. No, it would be fun. Cool. So yeah, I hope you all have an awesome day and amazing rest of your lives. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.